All right, here we go. The watch this video for Tuesday, October 23rd. The SPY still looks like it's trying to roll over and maybe retest these recent lows. But as I always say, I'm not a big fan of trying to predict the overall market. But after this big sell-off and then the bounce and it's kind of rolling over again, it certainly feels bearish. Also, every stock I had on my gap playlist this morning ended up closing red. So that's it kind of gives you a little hint into the undertones of the market, if you will, when that happens. So what am I, well, here, before I go into what I'm watching tomorrow, a couple highlights. NETE, this didn't act great right out of the gate. I wasn't going to chase it, but Wayne did call this. I'll scroll over. Right here, over 750, and look what happens right there. A quick pop to 8, and it all happened in about 3 or 4 minutes to 8:18. Really nice call by Wayne. Right there is the entry, and as you know, if you watch any of my videos or you've been in chat any length of time, we try to find stuff that should work immediately if it breaks an inflection point. You certainly had that right there. Easy trade if anyone took it. Buffalo was on fire today. He called ESES. Let's see. Let me get this one right. Over 22 cents, which was right here. Again, another example of a huge move right after the entry. Great heads up by Buffalo. He also called ESEA. Over $1.80, which was actually here, right over that 180. And again, notice the immediate results and a huge move. So teamwork's fantastic as always. What am I watching for tomorrow? XBIO has had some really nice spikes in the past. Here, back here, back here. And then again today, we're going to look for a follow-through day tomorrow. It topped out today at 370. No, that's not right. Yeah, 370. Absolutely worth watching tomorrow. RGLS, there's nothing pretty about this chart whatsoever. Closed at $1.83, but in after hours, it's trading right now at 270. So obviously had some news in after hours. So a possible gap and go play tomorrow. Kind of have the same scenario. Ugly chart here on NVCN. There's the daily, but in after hours, it's trading at 235. Which isn't really much of a gap up. Let's go to like 60-minute candles. Set to maybe open somewhere around here tomorrow. We don't know. We'll see what it does in the morning. But maybe you might have some shorts caught off guard as this is one ugly daily. And then obviously must have had some news after hours. I don't love RGLS or NVCN, but they're both worth watching because of that after hours news they had. ESEA, I just showed you this one. Buffalo's call today. Over $1.80. It ended up actually running all the way to 387 at one point intraday, closing at 240. So well off of its highs, below the middle of its intraday range, but really, really big volume. So I think all the shippers are worth watching tomorrow. I did throw a couple other shippers on watch. Dry ships, DRYS, nice volume today. And, fairly strong close. At least it closed over its midpoint. DCIX is another one. As I'm glancing at that one closed well off its highs. I'm going to take that one off the list. My list is too long anyway. OHGI, not a shipper, but I wanted to share it. Nice pop back here. Topped out at 43.5 cents, something like that. Pulled back, and then nice volume today, topping out at 35 point something cents. So I certainly like it over today's high. If it breaks that, it may want to test this recent high of 43.5 cents and maybe break through that too. So I like the setup here in OHGI. VT, one of my favorites going to tomorrow. Huge move here, lower high. Then right here on a gap up, it briefly took out this lower high, pulled back for a couple days, and then bounced. And then today, an inside day, topping out right around that hole number 4. I like this through 4 tomorrow if it gives a decent intraday setup. CPHI, some of the China names that really had a big rip 3 sessions ago. 2 days lower on declining volume. See the lower volume there? Back down, hitting the 8-day today. Worth watching for a potential bounce tomorrow. Again, only with a proper intraday setup. TROV, kind of the same thing. A recent strong stock, a few days lower. You can kind of argue that it's flagging here. Not in love with it, but it's worth watching. YECO, another crazy Chinese name that had a huge move. Almost 18 bucks the other day. And then a lower high, and then again today a lower high. The volumes really died down. I mean, man, this thing had over 30 million shares. Over 36 million shares on, what was that, 4 sessions ago? And today all the way down to 1.5 million. Certainly a great potential for a bounce tomorrow. CNET, kind of the same thing. Huge move all the way back down. Almost a round trip, but certainly worth watching tomorrow. CCCL, one more Chinese name that had a huge two-day move, and then 2 days lower on declining volume. And then SNES has a fairly decent chart. Had a really nice pop this day, which was, 3 sessions ago, from 73 cents to $1.15. Then a lower high, then another lower high. Today topped out at $1.04. Maybe through $1. Then today, a break at today's high would be $1.05. So interesting one to watch there. And I'm going to leave it at that too. We'll also add some pre-market gappers as we do every morning in the pre-market. So there's plenty to watch. It's a really big list. Even though the market's kind of weak, we're still coming out with big lists. So I guess that's a little bit positive. And to all of our members, thanks for the great teamwork. If you are not a member, click the link down below. You can now get involved in a fantastic teamwork-oriented chat room with education as one of the top priorities for only $79. So check that link below. I'm done babbling. We'll see everybody tomorrow.